Hello everyone and welcome back to the Saints View, the channel for Southampton content on Christmas Day. I hope you all having very Merry Christmases with your loved ones and got some Saints goodies. I know I did. I mean, that just drips sauce, doesn't it? Beautiful. And I also got this little, I guess, frame of programme covers, which is a really nice touch. So thank you for them to my parents. But that's not the point of this video, of course, me bragging about all the presents I got. It's about West Ham and the match preview. We play them down at St Mary's on the 27th. And, you know, this is really where the Christmas period really kicks in into our football season. We've been given an extra day off post Huddersfield. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Where most games are being played on Boxing Day. We've been given another day because we're being televised on Sky. But that also means that our game against Man City is pretty soon after. But of course the Huddersfield result was fantastic, back-to-back wins, and you know, it looks like really with this fixture we could really make it 3 in a row, which would be fantastic. You know, 9 points from a possible 9 from 12 for Hasenhuttl. I think that'd be a really positive start and sort of set the scene for what we can expect in the second half of this season. But of course West Ham are no pushovers. They've just recently ended a 4-game winning streak with a loss at home to Watford. They lost 2-0. Kind of didn't really show up on the day, but they did miss some good chances. So you could argue that they were unlucky not to get something from that game. So performance-wise, they should be up for it. And games against West Ham with Southampton are never really easy to predict. We rarely draw with them. It's either a win for either side. I mean, you look at last season, when we played them at St Mary's, you know, we went 2-0 up. They were absolutely awful that day, but it came back to 2-2 with 10 men, but then we got the last minute penalty to win it. And then back in March, Hughes' first league game, we were absolutely diabolical. So poor, especially first half, and went in at half-time 3-0 down. So, you know, it's a bit random. You can't really expect what to get with a West Ham Southampton game, but I think we're in probably the best place we could be going into this sort of game that we have been all season. Obviously they're a very good side under the leadership of Manuel Pellegrini now. Obviously we know about how much they spent in the summer on transfers. Not really where they should be based on their squad on paper, especially with how much they spent. But I'm sure in the second half of the season we'll really see them push on with the players that they've got. They really have the possibility to. And if we're looking at some of their players, I think Felipe Anderson is definitely the standout. I think it was 40 million they paid for him from Lazio. We were linked with him quite heavily in the summer as well, but obviously we didn't want to pay that much money. It took him a while to get his Premier League career underway, but now it's fully underway. He's been scoring some really good goals, putting in with the assists as well. So he's definitely the one to look out for on Thursday. Chicharito as well is always someone who likes a goal against Southampton. He obviously got a brace down at St Mary's last season. He's also definitely one to look out for. Absolute poacher, always scores inside the 18-yard box. But the thing is, I think if we were playing this game under Mark Hughes, we'd be a lot more worried than we are. Because now it looks like Hasenhuttl has really got the best out of his players, and we can field a strong side. Unfortunately, Højbjerg is suspended, but we have decent enough depth in that area, so Lamina can come in now that he's back from a minor injury. And then, you know, you look at Danny Ings, red hot form. Redmond now looks to be in the form of his life. Armstrong's been doing well as well. And then there's a debate over whether Cedric comes in. Bertrand's not ready yet to come back into the game after having an operation on his back. Cedric may come in for Valerie, who's actually done quite well in the last 2 games. Struggled at Cardiff, but I think against Arsenal and Huddersfield he's looked pretty solid. So now it's really exciting because we're in a position where we can field a decent side with a bit of rotation and still hope to get a result, or be good enough to get the result. I really think we can make it 3 wins on the bounce. Obviously we're going to have to play well. West Ham aren't going to be a pushover, but I do think they're inconsistent, and whether they come down and sort of get off the mark straight away, score a couple of early goals, then we really will be in trouble. But I think if we sort of up the tempo, really start positively, keep the ball, play well, create some chances, I think we'll be clinical enough to take those chances and then leave the game with the 3 points. I think a point really would be alright. We're 3 points off the relegation zone, so I think just make sure we don't lose this. A draw, I'll be satisfied. We're at home, so really we should be looking to win it. But they're a good side at the end of the day, and I think a draw would be alright. I think if you would have told me that we would have got 7 points from Arsenal at home, Huddersfield away and West Ham at home, I probably would have bit your hand off, because you know that's a really good tally for those particular games. But I think just to finish off, what's important is now we start climbing up the table, because this is the final game of the first half of the season. As of Sunday, when we play Man City at home on the 30th, that is when the second half officially begins in the Premier League, and it's really exciting to think about what we could do in the second half of the season. You know, could we push for top half? I think we can push for it. Will we get there? I don't think so. I think we're already too far behind. But you know, if you would have told me that we were looking to go up to 11th, 12th after the start we've had, my God, I would have taken that so much. But it's happy days. The feel-good factor is back. Obviously, we all love Hasenhuttl. He's done really, really well so far, and I think that'll continue. I'm pretty confident, and it feels so good to be confident for a game, especially a home game, because we've hardly had a win at home for the last, what, 2, 3, almost 3 years really, which is ridiculous to think. But if you have enjoyed this video, guys, do remember to like, as you always do, and subscribe if you haven't yet already. Recent sport has been fantastic. Do enjoy your Christmases, stay with your loved ones, and hopefully we can get 3 points against West Ham. Come on, you Saints.